Hi guys, Cy Baron here with another sound video for beginner's guitar, and we're going to play a little bit of fingerstyle guitar today using our fingers to pluck the strings instead of strumming, and we're going to do a little bit of instrumental sounding something like this. There's no pattern to it, I'm just making it up as I go along. The pattern comes from the chord shapes and we're just moving up and down the neck. Sounds pretty good, but it's only got two chord shapes, which I will show you in a minute what they are, and you're plucking all four strings all the way up the neck. It's on an A, got this A string going all the way through, and you can do it in various ways. I was doing quite a complicated rhythm with a note going all the way through, the A note, and the other notes coming in underneath in a what you call a syncopated rhythm. It's not a steady rhythm, it jumps about. But you can do it in an easier way, which we'll start with, and it will sound something like this. So you can really play around with it and have fun, and it does sound good. So we're going to be putting our fingers on the middle four strings, and we're going to be using the three first fingers and the thumb. So the thumb goes on the fifth string, and the index finger goes on the string underneath, the fourth string. The middle finger goes on the string underneath that, the third string, and the ring finger goes on the string under that, the second string. The pinky doesn't do anything, it just sort of hovers around. So you have 4 digits on 4 strings, and we're just going to pluck like this. The thumb plucks down, the fingers pluck up. So you're sort of grabbing like this, but gently. Now this is like the exercise I showed you in the last video, the finger brushing exercise, where we were just going like so. This is going to be similar. So this is the position of your hand, and you should have your hand coming down, not resting on the top like this, but coming down over the strings like so. And throughout this we're just going to be using the thumb and the fingers on these strings, and you can pluck these three as one. So the thumb is doing something independent from these three fingers, but these three fingers are doing exactly the same thing every time, coming up like this. Or simply now each time you pluck, you come back down and rest on the strings briefly before you pluck again. And the top part of your arm up here shouldn't be moving. We just want the fingers moving. Can you see the rest of my arm and hand not moving? Okay, so here are the chord shapes we're going to be using. Now we're just playing on these 4 strings, remember, not the top and not the bottom. And we're going to be playing an A7. Now an A7 is like the A chord that you're familiar with, except we don't have the middle finger in. and we can play it with these two fingers. And you see, if you play the A string as well as all these three strings, you get this sound. That's the A7 chord. Now this shape, we can move it up the neck in various positions, and we will do. There's one position here, for example, on the 5th fret, which has got 2 dots on my guitar, and there's another one on the 7th fret. The other chord shape is like this. It's a staggered shape, but it's on the same 2 strings as the A shape. When you're coming up to the 3rd and the 4th fret, can you see I'm playing these 2 notes? So instead of this shape on this fret, one finger is going above, so playing this shape. Now this is the only other shape you need. It sounds like that there, but you can also move this all the way up to the 9th fret, well, the 9th and the 8th fret, and indeed the 11th and the 10th fret. Can't see that, can you? There we are. Now I'm still playing 1, 2, 3, 4 strings. So you can see as you go up the neck, we're just fretting on the 2nd string and the 4th string, and we're playing 2 different chord shapes. I'm going to call this the A shape, and I will call this one the D shape, because it forms part of the D chord there. So we'll call that the D shape. Now you can move the D shape up to the 9th fret and up to the 11th fret. The A shape onto the 2nd fret, and in fact you can have it on the 0 fret as well. So that's just playing 1, 2, 3, 4 strings open. That's the 0 fret A on the 2nd fret, on the 5th fret, on the 7th fret, and on the 12th fret and the 14th fret. In fact, if you can go all the way up there. So we change up the shape as we go up the neck, but your fingers are still always on the 4th string and the 2nd string. It's just that the shape changes, and it goes like this: A shape, D shape, A shape, A shape, D shape, D shape, A shape, A shape. There we go, A shape. Now all these positions can be played randomly, as it were. You can mix them up. So you could go from the 2nd fret to the 7th fret to the 5th fret to the D shape on the 4th fret to the D shape on the 9th fret. And you see, by this means you can build up melodic patterns. And that in itself is fun to do, but we're going to build up a pattern which is more rhythmical. Let's look at a pattern with the thumb doing 4 beats and the fingers just coming in on 1 beat. So we've got a beat going, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can come in on that first beat with the fingers. could do one where the fingers come in on the first and the third. And that might sound something like this if we're going up and down the neck. Or the slightly simpler beat. Now when you get the hang of the simpler pattern, where the three fingers are playing on the same beat as the thumb, but what really sounds good if you can get an offbeat, and by an offbeat I mean that you're keeping the thumb going but you're playing a strum when the thumb isn't. So instead of doing that, you're doing that. Now this is where it starts getting tricky and you need a lot of practice, but using those same chords and doing this offbeat rhythm, you get a very nice sound. Can you see what my fingers are doing? They're plucking on the offbeat, but my thumb is keeping a regular rhythm. Now you want to start this off very, very slowly. The thumb is doing a regular beat, so it's just doing one beat for every beat of the bar, and there's 4 beats in the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the first pluck is coming on that first beat of the bar, but the second is not coming on the third beat, it's coming on the second and a half beat. Now unless you can read music, it's not very easy to describe in terms of the numbers, you just have to hear it. And it's something that you need to practice over and over again, but this rhythm is a rhythm which is very widely used in music. And it's a nice one to learn. And once you have that rhythm, you can play around with all sorts of different rhythms using the same chord shapes and roughly the same patterns. So once you've got the hang of that rhythm, then you can really go to town. Once you're confident with that, you can try messing around with rhythms using the same chord shapes up and down the neck and see what you come up with. Good fun. Give it a go. Thank you very much. Bye for now.